And I want to confirm your birth info. So I've got December 2nd, 1979 at 7 p.m. in Hartford, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Okay. And is it exactly 7 p.m., do you know, or?
I don't know. My mom couldn't find my birth certificate and she doesn't remember.
Okay. Okay. I mean, even if it changes a little bit, you're like right in the middle of being a Cancer rising right now. So we'll see how that feels when I talk about that placement, because that's the only thing that it would really change in your chart. So we'll see if that makes sense when we get to that part. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what is going on for you. I know we connected before, and you were originally wanting to do like a past life regression, right? And now we're
Yeah.
gonna go through this first. But yeah, tell me a little bit about what's going on for you, or if you've had any if you've had any past life like memories or.
I don't. I think for me, there's a couple of things that I generally struggle with. I guess maybe that will be helpful. Um, I'm back and forth in terms of work. Like, I keep getting offers. I keep having people come to me, but like nothing's really sticking.
Okay. What is it that you
So
do for
that's
work?
one. I work for an insurance company and I
Okay.
work in cyber insurance.
Okay. Okay. So you're kind of like back and forth with different job offers. You're happy with the job that you have. You're just looking to like change it up within that field, or?
Yeah, it's a very competitive space. And so, like, there's a lot of people that come to me, and when it comes, like, it's more like they're almost using me a little because I'm very, I use, I have a lot of problem solving skills. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times people will be like, oh, we want to talk to you about this opportunity. And then it's like, crickets after that. Or it's like 4 interviews. And then at the end, they're like, oh, we can't pay you or whatever it might be. Like, and I just, that's been one area this specifically over the past couple of months has been super frustrating.
Hmm. Okay. Got it. And are you're trying to stay like within that field, just yeah, those different situations where it seems like people just try to get as much from you as they can.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard when you're a female, like you can only sort of go so far in the insurance world. So that's why I'm trying to branch out a little bit to where it's not like all male driven and
Gotcha.
top heavy.
Okay. Okay. All right. And what else is going on for you? What's been coming up for you lately?
I absolutely struggle in terms of relationships. I came out of like a really kind of what I would call toxic situation,
Mm-hmm.
and probably ended completely in July, but has just kind of still lingered in terms of emotional stuff. I feel like I'm energetically connected, so I struggle a lot with that connection specifically.
What do you mean by that? You feel like you're energetically connected, but you
I
struggle.
feel like I've let go, but I feel like even because there's no communication, even with no communication, I feel like there's this lingering like energy suck from their energy, not from me. Like I'm continuing to move forward, but I feel this pull.
Gotcha. Okay. And you guys aren't in contact anymore.
So,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see some stuff going through a lot of stuff going through your seventh house of relationship and partnership. So that's been going on for a long time. These transits here on the outside. So this, have you ever had any like type of astrology reading before? Or this is your first time, right?
I've done a lot of like tarot and clairvoyant and mediums. I've never had an astrological read.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, so this is your chart that you were born with, the inside part here, and it shows where all the planets were at the time of your birth and kind of the conversation that they're having with each other. And then on the outside, these are the transits. So this is what's currently happening in the sky, and then I can see how it's interacting with your chart to better understand like what you're moving through right now. So to come back to the relationships, yeah, I can see Saturn and Pluto. If you've heard about, maybe astrologers talk about that conjunction that's been happening, that is taking place in your seventh house of relationships. So yeah, I would imagine that there's some like deconstruction and rebuilding in regards to your related relationship style and how you show up in partnerships with other people.
Yeah, it's always, I've never been what I would call good at that.
Okay. Okay. How do they usually look for you, relationships? Like what's kind of the theme, or what's
Codependent.
okay. Just kind of lose yourself in the relationship.
I mean, I think that, and I strive to fill a void versus it being more of like a partnership. Do you know what I mean?
Gotcha. The void is in regards to
Love, I think, generally.
okay. It's just like a lack of having that for yourself and in trying to fill it in relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of stuff going on in your chart. I'm excited to get into it with you. Is there anything else that's coming up for you right now that you want to share, or any like questions in particular that you have that you want to get out of the reading? Or you can obviously, say anything while I go through your chart. But yeah, is there anything else right now that you'd like to bring up?
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. I mean, I'm a single parent, and my son is super important to me. His dad sort of comes in and out. He doesn't. It's just sort of always been an area of sensitivity for all of us. But recently, he kind of came back around, and I don't know. I'd like to dig into that a little bit to see if that's genuine or if it's ultimately going to be, some other way to get to me or, bring in the legal side of it.
Okay. And what is the situation with so you have one son, and how old is he?
8. He'll be 8 in March. He's a Pisces.
Okay, cool. Got it. Okay, so the father is coming back around, and you're just kind of wanting more insight as to what that could mean, or what he's like, if he has ulterior motives, kind of thing.
Yeah, my son wants nothing to do with him, but
Mm.
I've been just generally trying to be, I don't know, passive about it and non-dramatic, if you will.
Okay. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I see some like your North Node and your South Node and Pisces and Virgo. We'll talk about all that, like coming from a past of maybe being maybe too passive, and in this lifetime needing to have more like structure and standing up for yourself. Yeah, but we'll talk about that as we get more into it. Okay, so let's start with your sun, your moon, and your rising sign. And yeah, feel free if you have any questions or anything comes up for you during the reading to just say anything.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll start with your sun sign. So your sun is in Sagittarius. Your sun is your ego, your core characteristics, your sense of self. And with it in Sagittarius, Sagittarius is a fire sign. So it is a fiery, outgoing, generally like bold, blunt energy. Sagittarius is kind of known for having like the foot in the mouth or the soap
Yep.
in the mouth, like just saying it how it is. Yeah, so that is what
That's
Sagittarius,
definitely me.
you feel that you're yeah, just speak your mind and put it out there, and however other people receive it is how they receive it.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Sagittarius is here to to do just that, like to be able to be bold and to be blunt, but to keep an open heart and to just share what their personal truth is. Generally, they like to. It's known as being the wanderer, the traveler of the zodiac. They like to experience different cultures, different religions, different spiritual practices, just different ways of living to kind of figure out what makes sense to them, like what their ultimate truth is, what is the reason, for them to be here. So with your sun in Sagittarius, and then you have your moon in Gemini. It's at 0 degrees of Gemini. So your moon is your emotional body. It's your internal world. It's how you process your emotions. And they're opposing each other. So the red lines in your chart are challenges. They're like conflicts, things that needs to be worked through, and the blue lines are more harmonious aspects that are just naturally supporting each other. So with your sun opposing your moon, that could look like just, feeling, I would imagine, feeling pulled in a bunch of different directions. But with that aspect in particular, it's like your ego, your core characteristics, your sense of self is kind of opposite maybe how you're feeling internally. Your internal body with your moon in Gemini, I would imagine really needing to put words to what it is that you're feeling, expressing your emotions, whether you need to write it out or you need to have that conversation with somebody else. But I think it's really important to talk about what's going on for you internally. Is that something that you feel, or do you like journal regularly, or what is your process with your emotional body? And there's a lot of things in your chart that point at, like, Mercury, the planet of communication and how our mind works, like lots of stimulation, mental activity going on. Hello?
Hi. Did I lose
Hey.
you?
Yeah, I don't know if it's weird. I don't know if are you in the car driving, or?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if it's you or me, but it's okay. I'm glad that it came back on. Okay, so what was the last thing that you heard?
You were asking me in terms of Gemini being my moon sign, if I had experienced that emotional, if I was journaling. And I was saying that I do. I think I try to give myself time for that every day. I probably don't journal enough, but I certainly am in touch with sort of what I'm feeling. I don't necessarily write it down.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is it really important for you to put words to what it is that you're feeling, or to, maybe it's having a
Yeah.
conversation with somebody else and really needing to, talk it all out?
Yeah, that's something that I think has evolved for me over time. And I've gotten much better at it in terms of saying how I'm feeling, much better at like putting up boundaries than I ever used to be, and kind of analyzing how I'm feeling and whether or not that person is capable of understanding my emotions.
Gotcha. If it's worth even opening up and sharing.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So one thing I wanted to ask you is, because I want to talk to you about your Saturn down here at the bottom of your chart, but you had your first Saturn return when you were like 28, 29, 30. So I'm wondering what was going on for you at that time in your life.
That is when I met my son's father.
Okay. Got it. So you met him around that time and then got together shortly
Right before
after?
my 30th birthday.
Okay.
Yep.
Got it. And you guys were together for how long?
About 4 years.
Okay. Okay. So Yeah, when you're about 28, 29, 30, that's when you have your first Saturn return. Saturn is the planet of your life lesson. It's like what you came here to learn in this lifetime. And so it returns to your natal placement in your chart to kind of see if you're doing the work that you came here to do. So I would imagine that there were, yeah, lots of lessons and things that you were moving through at that time, like, yeah, 28, 29.
Yes, definitely.
And you have Saturn at the very bottom of your chart as well as Pluto down there. So I'm wondering if there was some type of death in the family or loss in the family, like when you were younger, what your relationship is with your parents. Yeah, I want to talk about that part of your chart.
My parents were divorced when I was really young.
Okay.
So I was 2. I don't remember any like significant deaths when I was younger. I've been pretty fortunate that way.
Okay.
But yeah, my parents have been divorced since I was 2. They don't really coexist at all.
Okay. And did you have a relationship with both of them growing up, or what was that dynamic like?
Yeah, yeah, I had a relationship with both of them. I think a lot of like, circling back to you talking about me in my 30s, like a lot of lessons that I learned from that situation
Mm-hmm.
were lessons I think that I carried from their divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I talk about like, being unsuccessful in love, and, my mom was a single mom, as am I, very much like, don't depend on anybody, don't rely on a man, take care of yourself. And I think like a lot of that I learned just seeing her interaction with my dad, and I tried to keep that relationship alive with my dad despite her. So it's always been a bone of contention with us. My mom is not a loving person, in terms of like, she's not one of those moms that's like, oh, I love you, I'm so proud of you. That's
Mm-hmm.
not her.
Totally. Got it. Okay. Yeah, with Saturn down here at the bottom of your chart. So it's technically it's conjunct your IC, which the bottom of your chart represents your foundation and, the foundation of your life, your childhood, your family life. And with Saturn there, Saturn, again, the planet of our life lesson, but it can have like a heavy, a weighted energy to it. It can feel like restricted or constricted in some way. And with Saturn right there conjunct the bottom of your chart, it could look like, um, yeah, feel like taking on a lot of responsibility from a young age with, because yeah, with Saturn being there, Saturn is a planet of hard work and discipline. So it's kind of like being old when you're young, just having to take on a lot and maybe not like fully getting to have a childhood, or just feeling like you had a lot of responsibilities. There could be feelings of like loneliness in early childhood life. Yeah, some type of event with the family that forced you to grow up quickly and to kind of take on responsibility from a young age, just feeling maybe pressure, or I don't know if you still feel that or feel like guilt, or any kind of guilt or shame associated with the family. Yeah, how does that resonate with you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I feel guilt. I think it's definitely been something that I've had to process quite a bit. I think I've always been very negative towards my mom
Mm-hmm.
and sort of pretty resentful. And I think, I go to therapy regularly. I connect with, a lot of the decisions that I'm making. And
Awesome.
one of the things that keeps resonating is how often I say I don't want to be like my mom, and I actually am. I'm the one that's working really hard. I'm working all these different jobs. My career is, always at the top of my priority list. You know, I strive to be different than her, yet I'm very much following in her footsteps.
In what ways do you want to be different than her?
So like, you know, my son's father and I have that same like difficulty in me being able to forgive him for some of the things that he did. And, you know, I took it upon myself as part of him coming back this time to say, you know, this is my time to like all of this and basically say, this isn't about us anymore. I don't harbor those angry feelings towards you because I don't want to be like her. I don't want to carry that anger for the rest of my life. I don't have a terrible life. My life is not ruined because of any of his decisions. Is it harder? Sure. But it's not ruined, and I don't want to carry that anymore. Like those things I've tried to break. I tell my son every day I love him and I'm proud of him. Like I'm trying to break a lot of those generational kind of just weights, I would call them.
Totally. Yeah. That's amazing. That is awesome that you do, that you do so much work on yourself, that you're continuing to talk to somebody and have that space to just like, have somebody hold space for you to reflect back all of the shit. So that is really awesome.
Yeah.
I think that's super important, especially having, so much, like you've got a lot of Virgo energy, which we'll talk about, and just some other aspects in your chart that indicate just that there could be a lot of mental stimulation, or because I think you're very intuitive and very psychic and very like able to read other people's energy, to kind of read through the lines. So having somebody that can support you and that can help you kind of ground into your physical body.
Yeah, I think I struggle with that part of it because I feel it. Like I feel intuitive. I just am not 100% sure how to use it. But I think even though, and I think that's why I reached out on the past life regression first, because like people are drawn to me and I have like I'm very empathetic. I understand them. I'll talk through it with them. But I mean like strangers come up to me and like diarrhea of the mouth, just whatever's on their mind or their heart. Like, and I've always been sort of trying to figure out like, what am I meant to do more with that side of what comes natural? Because I don't know, like I know I have a gift. I don't know how to use it or figure out how to make full use of it. Like I have oracle cards I use in the morning. Like I touch base with myself, I meditate, but like I can't quite get past or figure out what I'm supposed to do with what everyone tells me is a gift.
So people come to you and they just share whatever with you because they feel safe. They feel like you can handle it. They feel, called to connect with you, and you're already doing so much of this work on your own. So in what way would it look like if you were to move in that direction? Like you could pull cards for people, you could hold space for people in some kind of way. I think it could look a million different ways, but doing something with like you have a lot of earth energy, which helps you to be very analytical, very good at like, kind of breaking things down and like reading between the lines, seeing the bigger picture while also being able to like zoom in on the details and, kind of like.
That's exactly me. Like that's what my resume says.
That's awesome. I love it.
Yeah,
your sun in Sagittarius and your moon in Gemini. So Sagittarius is like the big picture, the higher perspective. It's like the bird's eye view, being able to kind of, go up into the clouds and look down on everything. It's like, what does it all mean? What is the purpose of it all? It's very like philosophical, big picture, not so much focused on the details. But then it's the opposite energy, Gemini, where your moon is and your emotional body is very good at, it's the most communicative sign of the zodiac. So I'd imagine being, very good at communicating, expressing yourself, like having a beautiful way with how you speak and like put your words together. Gemini energy is very, very clever and witty and just like quick. So, and it's also very much, focused on the details. If Sagittarius is the big picture, Gemini is like zooming in and being able to kind of sift through, yeah, the information and the details. So I definitely think that
And
is,
that's what I think I'm trying to connect to in my work. Like it's starting to happen more and more where people are saying, hey, can you come with me to this meeting? Hey, can you come with me here? Because exactly what you're saying is what I do in every single meeting. I read the room. I read between the lines. I know who wants to talk to me, who's not interested in what anyone else has to say, and how I can bring them back around.
mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. So you go to these meetings with people to like help them with their business. It's not like emotionally supporting them. It's more like,
No, like help with sales. Because
yeah.
people tend to like me because I connect to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that could be something that you could start to charge for. You could start to like, share with people that that's a service that you offer.
Yeah, and that's what I've been thinking about. So like a couple of those job opportunities are just that. Like they want me to be the person that builds their company, that, builds those relationships and maintains them.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
And I like that part of it, and I like doing that part of it within my job, but I feel like there's a personal side to that that I don't quite understand what to do with.
What do you mean?
Like, I think I do that same thing outside of work, and I don't know what, like, that's the part that I can't connect with, how to make that come into play. Like, I think that's why people talk to me, like strangers come talk to me, is no different than why it happens at work.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you're wanting to do something with basically like the strangers or the people that come to talk to you for more of like emotional support. So doing something in that realm as well.
Yeah, because I think that fills my cup more. Like work makes me feel successful and worthy and proud.
Mm-hmm.
But helping people to process and heal is a different kind of cup. You know what I mean? It's filling my cup in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. So I guess it's just how you would go about offering some type of service to people in that regard. Because I'll point out some of the things in your chart that show your intuitive abilities and like what you came here to do in this lifetime. So you're coming from with your south node in Pisces. So the north node and the south node indicates what you've done in a past life, the energy that's really easy for you to like default back into. You've done it many times. And so in this lifetime, you're here to kind of go in the direction of your north node. And your north node is not necessarily comfortable or easy to do because you're used to doing its opposite energy. But for you, there's a ton of stuff in Virgo. So your north node's in Virgo, and you also have, which this isn't always how people's charts end up, but you've got Saturn in Virgo as well. So not only is it your life lesson, but it's also the direction that you're meant to be going in this lifetime. And then you also have Mars and Jupiter there. So Jupiter is the planet of joy and expansion. So it's like, this is the energy that you already enjoy doing. But there is something about needing to come back, in this lifetime to really get that energy right, the Virgo energy. And so the conversation between Virgo and Pisces, like a south node in Pisces coming from a past of that Piscean energy, the conversation between these two signs, it's all about service and healing and generosity. And it also rules your health, any type of health challenges or addictions. I don't know if you've like moved through any of that in your lifetime. It is like fact versus fantasy, intuition versus logic. So with your south node in Pisces, that would show up like this is what you're moving away from. Maybe this is what you've done maybe earlier in your lifetime, in this lifetime, or in a past life. You're releasing like denial, deception, any type of emotional manipulation, being the victim, like self-pity, excuses, passivity.
Oh, that's huge. That's
Okay.
huge for me.
Which part?
That
The whole thing.
Releasing the I'm a victim mentality, that has been one of the biggest generational ties I've needed to cut, because that comes along with, like you said, having all these different areas of stimulation, but also being, you know, that growing up in a place where it was, you don't need anyone. Well, when you don't need anyone, you're exhausted. So a lot of times it's like, I do all this and no one helps me. That's a huge thing in my family, and I basically nipped that in the bud and was like, I'm done with that. I made these choices. I'm not going to continue to be a victim. You just have to do it. This is your life, is it?
Totally. Yeah, that's awesome. That's exactly what what you would be stepping into with your North Node in Virgo. So yeah, moving away from that, the victim mentality, the self-pity, the excuses, the passivity, self-sacrificing, being easily seduced or charmed, like lost in daydreams. That's all the Piscean energy. It's very floaty, very otherworldly. Pisces is the last sign in the zodiac, so it's like kind of a mushing together all the other signs and just like nothing matters. It's the opposite of Virgo, that's all about structure and details and organization. And Pisces is like, oh, just let's throw it all away and like live in a dream world. And they're very, very intuitive. It's very easy for them to like connect to other realms and, spirits, etc. But details is not their strong suit. So yeah, maybe coming from, like you said, many lifetimes, your family, like generational energy of just being, the victim, like self-martyrdom, taking on too much, self-sacrificing. And in this lifetime, really trying to go in the direction of your North Node, which is about solving problems, being really good with data and information, like the hard, real facts. Taking accountability, like leadership, having structure in your life. Personal responsibility, and then having grounding routines that you can do on the day-to-day, like you mentioned about pulling cards and meditating, because Virgo does rule our daily routines. It rules our health, how we take care of our health and our bodies. With your North Node in Virgo, it also looks like attention to detail, paying attention to the fine print, having really good technical skills, and just needing to have clear boundaries in this lifetime. So there's a lot of energy there in Virgo, which doesn't always end up like this in people's charts. So it's like you really came in to do that Virgo energy in this lifetime. And you can feel that. Yeah, it seems like you've done a lot of work around like moving in that direction and taking responsibility and being the leader and having, strong boundaries and having things like having structure and organization and having a job where you work with the details like that. So how does that show up?
Yeah,
You feel all that?
that's very accurate. I mean, that's exactly who I try to be. I mean, I do that in every realm that I can at work. I'm the one that tries to bring the team together. I'm the one that puts out all the details so everyone knows what's going on. I'm the one that someone leads to in a technical project because they can't figure out what the heck people are talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So I very often am the communicator between the technology and the people. And then generally, like I said, strangers come to me. So I have a boss that is terrible at the people stuff. My whole team comes to me.
Mm-hmm.
They're his employees, but they come to me because he's emotionally unavailable.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So you've really taken on a lot of those Virgo characteristics. I guess the only thing with the Virgo energy could be, you've got Mars there as well. So just being aware of like, sacrificing too much to the point where it hurts yourself, or, taking on too much responsibility and not receiving like enough credit or money or like energy exchange.
Credit. Yep,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my struggle. That's why I'm looking for a new job, because I've done that so poorly. Like, I just learned how to have boundaries, to be honest. Like, that has been over the past, since this toxic relationship, that boundaries. I didn't have them at work. I didn't have them at home. So I can start with this. I try to adjust who I've been at a place that I've worked for 12 years now.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah, and that's showing up, you know, what you said about relationships. So you've been having that Saturn Pluto conjunction go on in your seventh house of relationship. This is a very big conjunction, and it's like very long lasting. So we've been building up to it kind of all last year, and then the exact conjunction was in January. Well, we're still at the end of January, or no, where are we? I think we're in the first day of February. But anyways, that conjunction happened on January 10th. And it was in regards to, for you, with it being in your seventh house of relationship, it's like, yeah, everything that needed to be brought up to the surface, anything that was not in integrity, maybe there was like manipulation, power plays, maybe there's, I don't know if there's any obsession or jealousy within the relationship. Just, yeah, Pluto is the planet of death and transformation, and pretty much anything like taboo, dark, toxic energy. So it wants to, yeah, bring that up to the surface so you can work with it, you can see it, you can understand, you know, what needs to die off and what you need to keep. And then Saturn is the planet of structure and like rebuilding a new structure in your life. So for you, it's showing up within relationships and like, yeah, how you show up in a relationship, how you spend your time and energy there, like having, yeah, probably a tearing down of any of the boundaries that they were, or maybe just a realization that there weren't any boundaries, and in needing to kind of rebuild a foundation for how you interact with other people. Maybe it's showing up in your intimate relationship, and then also like your work relationships, just needing to stand up for yourself, to value yourself, your time, your energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of that is learning to have a little bit more self-worth. One of the other things that I think the past couple of years, I lost a lot of weight as a kid, and I've changed my body quite a bit. So I think, you know, that has certainly, I've struggled with that in terms of my worth.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that shows up in other places because I'm just learning how I'm learning how to handle, I guess I would call it, the more attention that I'm getting, and making sure that that is staying like in a positive place.
Gotcha. And what do you mean by that exactly? Like staying in a positive place?
Like, I don't want to, you know, I could easily, you know, just start to date or meet people based on the fact that like my body is different, and, you know, now my body more aligns with my face and it gets a lot of more attention. Like, I don't want to get caught up in any of that crap. Like, I just want to feel my own self-worth and find someone that loves me for who I am on the inside, not necessarily that I look differently on the outside now.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
So that, I think, makes it like adds another layer of like connecting with someone, because I don't know, like, I'm fearful of that. Like, whereas my old relationships, I feel like it goes both ways. I don't really know how to explain that. But there's part of me that's like not sure what I'm worth, not sure what people's intentions are. And I think when I was heavier, it was easier to gauge that than it is for me now. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So now your body looking a certain way, people are maybe more drawn to you, and before it was easier to kind of like sift through who was genuine and who wasn't. So with Saturn at the bottom of your chart, and this could stem back. Well, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about your Chiron too, because that's like a primal wound that we all have somewhere in our chart. But with Saturn down there at the bottom of your chart, it could indicate that you need to build your own solid foundation, that it wasn't supported like within your family, maybe, yeah, them being like having really high expectations or wanting you to be perfect, or you needing to take on a lot of responsibility from a
Yeah.
young age. And then, yeah, feeling like
Yeah. I
Saturn.
had a ton of pressure. Like I had a ton of pressure growing up. I was a first generation American. I was the first one to go to college.
Wow. Where's
There
your
was
family from?
no like half of it. My mom is from Italy and my dad is from Portugal.
Okay. Gotcha. So there was a lot
So
like,
yeah, I mean, I definitely I've struggled quite a bit, like in thinking about like, should I uproot my son? Should I move somewhere different to keep him away from that? To let him be his own person? Like those are the things that like I grapple with on a regular basis because I want him to have the freedom to be him, to do something different, to do what he loves. Like I didn't do what I loved. I did what I thought I was supposed to do.
mm-hmm.
Or what was expected of me. And that's where I'm like sometimes trying to figure out, am I doing the right thing?
In regards to your work?
Right.
Okay. So you feel like what you're doing is more what was expected of you, and not as much what you would have chosen to do?
I think I'm turning it into what I'm good at. I think before this, like before I got into this job and before I started marketing the way that I am,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't living up to my true potential because I was only being by the company, and that's not where my best benefit is. So now I'm seeing myself outside of the company and how people are responding to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that piece of it shows me that I'm meant to do that. I'm meant to have some sort of external interaction like that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. So valuing yourself and knowing your self-worth, because yeah, just having to, and you've done so much work, it seems, and just talking to you and hearing, yeah, the work that you do and going to therapy and yeah, all of the routines, the rituals that you have to help you like be in your body, to check in with your body, to just kind of build that inner stability and that inner security. Because yeah, having Saturn at the bottom of your chart, like that's not I don't want to say easy, but it's not like a super comfortable placement. So it'll be interesting when we do the past life regression to see what has gone on in past lives, because this is like some karmic signatures. I think you took on a lot in this lifetime, to whether it's just for your soul's evolution to like evolve as much as possible by taking on so much, or you're working through like karmic debt, whether it was you or like within the family line. But having Saturn down there at the bottom of your chart can just feel, yeah, there can feel like a heaviness, a pressure, of constricted energy, around, yeah, just feeling safe, feeling supported, feeling good enough. And then that in combination with the Virgo energy. So you've got, again, your life lesson is here in Virgo. You've got your North Node in Virgo. You've got a lot of Virgo energy, and Virgo is the perfectionist. So yes, it's really good at like having all the details, the organization, having everything put in its, certain place, but it is a perfectionist, so they can go, too far and just be too hard on themselves. There's a few things in your chart that could point at that, like exhaustion or like really long hours, just really pushing your physical limits. But
That's my downfall. I
yeah.
push my physical limits
Mm-hmm.
so often. And that's the other thing as it relates to my son, I think part of this taking on so much, I am trying to figure out, like, my son is on the spectrum. So on top of it, I've had a couple of years of trying to figure out how to help him. And,
He's what?
everybody used to say, like, you're on the spectrum. He's autistic.
Okay, gotcha.
But very high functioning, so extremely brilliant.
Mm-hmm. And he's a Pisces, so he's super intuitive. I would imagine like feeling everybody's energy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
he's like the most sensitive autistic child you ever meet, because autistic children have a hard time connecting.
Mm-hmm.
But we just recently helped him to get on the right like set of medication.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that he feels right now as an 8-year-old is like not your average child.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But in terms of like karmic past, I think that connection to his dad and the mental health issues and the autism and those things, like people say to me, like, you were meant to have that child because nobody else could have helped him to be who he's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. And I think
But
that's,
it's a huge load for me. Like,
yeah, totally. Yeah. And you probably have felt that weight since a child. I mean, Saturn down there at the bottom of your chart, there's a weight, there's a heaviness, there's like a severity to what it is that you're doing, just probably coming in feeling like you have like responsibilities. You have things you have to take care of, you have to tend to from a really young age. And I'm sure that's a part of why people come to you for guidance, because they feel that you're super like solid and stable and steady within yourself, even if it's hard for you to maybe see that sometimes, or to really feel into your self-worth, but just your immense like empathy and compassion for other people and their experience. I would imagine, because of all of the experiences that you've gone through in your lifetime, having Pluto in the 4th house is another signature that indicates just like an intense childhood. Your family, intensity, having to be strong in your early years. Like maybe your mother, like you were saying, was really intense. It could, I don't know if they were abusive or verbally abusive or.
Oh, totally.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like not having that support and that solid foundation that you would have liked. And so really needing to kind of to build that for yourself, which it seems like you've done a really good job at. And I think that's part of why, why people feel drawn to you, because they feel like you can handle it. Like you've been through all of it. You can handle, whatever shit that they're going to bring. I think it's just really
Right.
being able to protect yourself, to protect your energy field, whether you're, constantly envisioning like a barrier around you so that you're not just like absorbing their stuff. And that's good information for your son too. Whenever he can receive it, to envision that, because I would imagine being a Pisces, just being super connected to the other realms, and for people that are intuitive, that can just feel other people's energy so easily. It's important to have different practices where we can release that. We can like shake it out and release anything that we've picked up from other people. Or just envisioning
We
that.
both do that when it the way that we both do it, I think, is water. We're both super drawn to water.
Yeah.
Like he's asked me, like I just fixed his bathroom so he can take baths again, because he loves to like be submerged in water, and I'm the same way.
Totally. Yeah, for sure.
Like that's our connection to like peace and just general, taking us off of DEFCON 1. Like we don't know how. Like I see in him, like no one's ever diagnosed me with ADHD.
Mm-hmm. My
son has ADHD, as they call it right now. But all that is to me is we're capable of so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's our brains can't handle it. Now I'm an adult. I have no idea what I was like as a kid. I probably showed a lot of the signs that he did.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nothing, it wasn't a thing back then. It wasn't like no one was saying, here, I can help you with this. So like, I see it in myself, and I don't know how to deal with it. At least I said to somebody the other day, the fact that I've been helping him since he was 4 and the school has stepped in, that kid has coping mechanisms that I don't even know at 40.
That's amazing.
Like they're teaching them that. And that's the thing that I think will help him to be able to control more of that pressure as he gets older.
Yeah, to understand like his emotions or the thoughts that come through, and just being so sensitive in a world that is, I guess, changing, and I think is supporting that more. But for the most part, yeah, we're not taught so much how to like handle our emotional body or like feeling other people's emotions, because you know, a Pisces is a water sign, so it's the fish represents Pisces, right? So water is very, yeah, healing and cleansing. It like cleanses our emotional body, especially for people with strong water in their chart, which is you, and I would imagine your son as well.
Yeah.
And
And
for
a tattoo of the fish on my back.
I
For
love
him.
it. Yeah, I love it. It would be
And
cool
then I
to
have
see his
stars
chart.
underneath that.
Right.
Oh yeah, I would love to see his chart.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to
Totally.
see, because your South Node in Pisces, so you coming from past of doing that energy and then him coming in with that energy in this lifetime is pretty cool. So it'd be interesting to see, yeah, how else it matches together. But so in regards for you, I want to talk about Mercury here and your mental body, because Mercury is the planet of communication. It rules how our minds work. It rules how we communicate, how we think about things, just our mental process. So you have Mercury conjunct Uranus, which is really amazing. Uranus is like genius energy. It's like brilliant Einstein energy, really. And it, you know, and this could be like associated with ADD or ADHD, because Uranus is like it's an electrical energy. So it could feel like, yeah, flashes of information, like downloads just out of the blue, like the lightning bolt kind of, you know, flashes on and you receive the information that you need, and then the lights go out. But I would imagine it could be hard to like to know what to do with that information if there's just so much, you know, coming through to you at different times. It can be, you know, hard to know what to do with it, or to just feel grounded. Like it's a very, yeah, electrical energy that you could probably feel in your body. So so that could
Every day.
Okay, yeah, how does that show up for you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what does that feel like? What is it like?
It's every day. Like when I started, and it just started, like I started to connect with it finally when I started to meditate.
Mm-hmm.
So it started to happen. Like I started to feel all of these like bursts of
Yep.
Inspiration.
Totally.
I'm sorry, hold on one second.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm on the phone. Will you go in first and then I'll come in? Okay. Wait, do you want to like, okay. Sorry, I'm doing a getaway with my friend so I can soak my body in water in a hot tub.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, we found an Airbnb last minute. She is my my boyfriend friend.
Love it.
So yeah. So it's been showing up for me lately, and I also, like I said, was in a stale, toxic situation for 2 years. I recently had like an ex-person come around, and we had like really amazing sex, and I have all these like bursts of just ideas, and my brain was on like it was insane. Like I started writing stuff down. I'm like trying to put together all these different groups, and my brain is just like, holy shit.
Yeah.
And I've been like doing meditations at night for like my, you know, for my energy and like healing my chakras, and like all of a sudden I just felt like everything was just released and my brain was on fire.
Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, this aspect here with it's 2 degrees apart. So that is, yeah, it's very close. Mercury and Uranus. Yeah, it's just very clairvoyant, very intuitive. Like people with this strong aspect here, just, yeah, like psychics, visionaries. Uranus is associated with the Aquarius energy, which rules, like it's the future basically. So I would imagine getting like insights or downloads into the future, into what's going to happen. With it in, since you were talking about sex, with it in Scorpio, So Mercury and Uranus are both in Scorpio. And I don't know if you experienced this earlier in your life, but, well, I want to talk about, okay. So Scorpio, the low road of Scorpio is like not wanting to be here. It rules all of the heaviness, the darkness of the world. Like they just have a really strong emotional depth. And so with Mercury there, I would imagine like wanting to speak to those things, like wanting to talk about things that are taboo, maybe things that make other people uncomfortable with, that you know, it doesn't make you uncomfortable. And Scorpio is also the sign that's associated with sex and with like soul merging. So I would imagine like if you got into tantra, or like setting intentions, like when you have sex or at the moment of orgasm, like putting out a intention into the universe would be really powerful, because yeah, that's like combining, the soul merging with another, and then the ability to manifest, or to, yeah, really to just like set a goal, set an intention, and to have that materialize, I would imagine is, yeah, very strong for you. It comes pretty natural. I think the low road of that energy, like if you, maybe this happened before you went into meditation and all of the work that you do for yourself, like the self work, because the low road of this energy, it could be very like very dark and very like hard on yourself, or like expecting like worst case scenario, or just because the emotional depth is so strong and so deep that you could like, yeah, go down into the depths and spiral out. I don't know if that's something that you've worked through. And
well, that's exactly what happened. My parents split because my dad cheated, and
got it.
I was cheated on by my son's dad, and the toxic relationship that I just came out of was me having an affair, and I swore I would never be on that side. Mm-hmm. And I did for 2 years, and I broke it off, but she found out afterwards. And so I've been like all of that.
Yeah.
Super heavy.
Yeah. And what comes up for you, like talking about it?
I just remember how I felt when it was happening to me, and how, that I was part of something that inflicted that pain on someone else.
Yeah.
And like, I'm angry that we connected that way, because it was such a meaningful connection. He has a daughter who's disabled and is very mean to him. And my son was being so mean to me.
And this is with the ex.
Yeah, I'm like angry about the fact that we had that connection, because it was so strong, and I felt like we both needed it.
Angry about
so much
the connection.
Like, I'm angry that like the universe would pull me there. Like, I'm angry about how I got there.
In the affair.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what's the situation like? Are you in contact with that person still, or?
I am in contact for work, because it's related to work.
Mm-hmm.
But I choose to keep that very like blunt, and don't engage anymore.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. So can you notice like the relationship with, and I'm sure you've probably talked about this maybe in therapy with like the relationship with your parents, or the relationship, with your dad and your mom, and then that showing up in your relationships now.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I feel like it's so heavy.
Yeah, the feelings around what happened, and like needing to forgive yourself for what went on, and
Right. And being an empath, like carrying that, I know the kind of pain they're feeling.
Yeah,
You know, like that's how my family got torn apart too. You know.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And it's just a life lesson that I keep repeating. Like, I can't do it. I can't do it better than my mom. I can't fix the guy who has a drug problem. I can't fix the guy who's a cheater. Like, I'm no different than she is.
Well, yeah. So I think not. So the Virgo energy has a strong desire it's the perfectionist. So it has a strong desire to fix things, or feeling like they're broken or other things are broken and they need to fix it or put it back together. So I think finding, the beauty in our imperfections, I mean, is like cliche as that sounds, that's really the high expression for that Virgo energy, which is your life lesson and your North Node. So to understand your, maybe diving deeper into the dynamic with your family, it seems like mostly the mother. But yeah, it's like giving yourself permission to be who you are, to make mistakes, to be imperfect, and to know that it's not your responsibility to fix other people or to solve other people's problems just because you're really good at it. It's not your job to like self-sacrifice to the point where you're here to just serve everyone. I think that, if you want to take on that role, having people pay you for your services of like helping them put all the pieces of themselves together to make like a coherent whole. I think that is part of your gift with all that Virgo energy, but it's really to find compassion for yourself and to be able to kind of change any of the self-talk around just, like not feeling good enough, not feeling like you've done it quite right, or like, I don't know if you feel like you get caught in procrastinating because you feel like it's not perfect yet, or you're not perfect, or you're not able to.
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Yep.
And what does that look like? How does all that resonate with you?
I mean, it's like I said, like I had all these explosive ideas, and I feel like if I focused my attention on that for a week, I could have 7 business ideas, but I'm procrastinating because I know I won't have everything I need to make them all happen. So I keep like reaching for some of my friends who are more apt to sit down and do that evaluation and review, and then I can chime in when all the work is done.
Okay. So go ahead.
Like I know that there are other opportunities for me and the people that surround me, because they're all very unique and strong, for us to build something where we can financially not be tied to the grind. Like my friends are killing themselves to have nice houses and to have their kids go to good schools. Like they're exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
But we're all smart as hell. We should be building another network for ourselves to have a revenue stream.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
like
think
that's the kind of stuff I think about.
Mm-hmm. And so what keeps you from like taking action on that?
I'm too focused on my career, working and progressing there, because I think I need to have a little bit more money to be able to have a little bit more freedom to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to give half of my, you know what I mean? I don't want to give half of myself to that. If I'm going to do it, I need to be able to give the attention it needs.
Mm-hmm.
And this job that I'm supposedly getting, I will, if everything goes right, I will have the opportunity within the next 3 years to focus my attention on the things that fill me up. That's what I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know I'm not meant to do this grind every day.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed to have flexibility, I can build whatever I want. But being set, like, in these corporate parameters and all that bullshit, that's not how that fuels my my competitive side
Mm-hmm.
and my ego,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't fill my cup.
Mm-hmm. And what fills your cup?
People, their problems,
Being able
figuring out like how what people need.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, picking those little pieces. Like, my friends don't understand. Something will happen and I'll go, that person needs to talk to me. And I text them. I could not talk to somebody for a year and do that. I've had friends of mine when I've done that say, no, I'm not okay. I'm in a church parking lot and I hate myself and I'm drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, whether I help that person myself or I get that person to the help that they need,
Mm-hmm.
that has happened more often than I can actually ignore, right? So, like, I have friends who look to me for the spiritual side. I have friends that look to me to talk to me about the fact that they're in this situation or that situation, or they want to look at this or they want to understand this. Like, those things happen to me regularly.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, I think your gift is combining the spiritual with the practical. It's like coming from a past life, and in this lifetime having so much of that watery, intuitive energy. And in yeah, in your Mercury here, like being able to intuitively know what people need, like it's deeper than just like an internal knowing or a
I think
feeling.
that's what it's meant to, and I think that's why, like, they get sucked into like when they meet me, they get energetically pulled towards me, and then they get really scared because they're like, I don't know if she's like, that can't be real. Like, she's doing all those things for me. She must be too into me too fast. And I'm like, no, I'm just connected to you. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Like doing what kind of things?
Like being like, oh, getting some sort of intuitive, like, hey, this is going on, and then asking the question and being like, oh, do you need this? And then being like, that's so weird that you even knew that I was whatever, like, maybe you like me too fast, or like maybe this feels too weird. Or they go the other direction. They're like, I'm so in love with you. Like, there's no balance in any man that I've ever dated.
There's no what? No bounds?
Like, just want to be there because sexually they're drawn to me,
Mm-hmm.
or they're like so mentally invested in me and drawn to me, it's like psychotic.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because they're getting something from me, from my energy.
Uh-huh. Totally. Yeah. So
Like, a lot of issues there. It's usually deep.
hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. It was kind of cutting in and out. Okay. So let me go back into your Mercury and Uranus here to really, yes, kind of dive deeper into what you're saying. So, and then I think that it's up to, well, I guess it depends on the setting and like your relationship with these people and how much information that you give them. Especially, yeah, if you're like trying to kind of go into this field or eventually like get paid to hold that space for people, I think you just have to be really clear. Like you could say, yeah, that I'm just tapping into my psychic intuitive abilities. I want to ask you something, like, let me know if that resonates with you at all. If not, that's fine. But yeah, I would imagine like this is a really, really powerful signature. Like, I don't see many people having this placement, and the people that do have it, yeah, are very brilliant, very intuitive, very like able to, yeah, read into the future to bring back current or to bring back like things from the future to revolutionize the current systems that we have. So not only can you use it like within your work and, ways to like continuously be like future thinking and like ahead of the competition kind of thing, because you're like in the future to a certain degree. But the Scorpio energy is the healer. And so this is where your mind is, like how you communicate, how you think about things. So generally this energy, Scorpio, it has to, hit rock bottom. So they're faced with all of the heaviness of the world, like traumatic events in childhood, abuse, trauma, like the shaman energy has to hit rock bottom, and then they have to like commit to being here, commit to being alive, and to rise above like self-destructive, self-sabotaging tendencies. So it seems like, yeah, you've really done a lot of that work for yourself to like, yeah, commit to being here, to sharing your gifts, to being of service. The Scorpio energy, again, it's water, like Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio is all water, and it's all very intuitive. Scorpio is very much like Scorpio energy mixed with Virgo is very much the detective, like private investigator, being able to like read through people's bullshit. Like Virgo is very good at analyzing, breaking down the information, details. Yeah. And Scorpio is like the human lie detector. Like they can go too far and just like not trust anybody and think that everybody's full of shit. But the high expression of that energy. Okay. Yeah. So, and then also the low expression of Scorpio is very controlling, very obsessive, jealous, manipulation, power plays. So, that could show up, yeah, within the family dynamic and then within relationships as well. So, but the high expression of this energy is being able to hold space for anyone, right? Because this Scorpio energy, it's like they've gone to the depths of hell themselves. And so other people can come to them with anything, and they're able to hold space for it. Like they're not afraid of it. They're going to lean into it and like hold that space for people. So yeah, so I think that is your gift. And also being able to, yeah, just kind of read between the lines, read into people's subtleties, like you said, scanning the room, like just constantly taking in so much information and being able to like read people's body language. So yeah, I definitely think that is a gift. It's just being able to, yeah, like allowing it to unfold now as you're tapping into those abilities more, and how you want to share that with other people, like how you want to, if you want to make money from it, if you want to like hold space for other people. The thing, well, before I go on, is there anything that you want to share about that or like comes up for you?
Yeah, no, it all totally resonates. I think I go back and forth between the two. Like I would love to be a life coach and use my friends and their like abilities to like bring that opportunity to them.
Like to hold that space for your friends, or for them to do it as well?
For both. I think I'd like to, like I have friends who are great at X. I have friends who are great at X. Like I would love for us to all come together and do something together. We hold space for each other. We're like our own little soul tribe. Like the people in my network, I mean, you just start to put them together, and there's no shortage of somebody who's gone through some pain or who understands whatever someone else is going through. Like in my mind, I want to build like a network, like an Amazon for females, for like, I'm struggling with this. My boss is treating me like this. Like, who can I talk to?
Sweet. That's super cool. That's a really good idea. So they're
that's the shit
like
that
a
comes to me.
Yeah. And I think you should, there's probably ideas or like downloads that come through maybe more than once, or Yeah, just paying attention to the ones that really, yeah, that really do something for you, which I think that is one of them. Yeah, but that's the Uranus energy. It's like, it's the great awakener, it's the great liberator. Like, it wants to help us break free from stuck stagnant energy, and so it delivers these, yeah, flashes, these downloads, information that comes through, and then like the lights go out and you can't see it anymore. So it like flashes on, you see what you need, and then it goes out. So I think it's really, you know, continuing to do the meditation and like breath work, and just really feeling that like sense of inner stability and security to build something super solid. Yeah, I think that is an amazing idea. And then I wanted to say, because you were saying before, like, that you were waiting to get to get the information, or you're waiting for something, like with the Virgo energy, to just be careful of the procrastination, like putting things off, or feeling like, oh, it's not quite perfect, or I need just a little bit more. I'm not quite where I want to be before I can, you know, share something or put something out there. So just being mindful of like not getting caught in the, you know, perfectionism, trying to make it perfect so that it alters, you know, it keeps you from doing anything at all.
Yeah.
It gets you caught in like,
and I have two friends that I lean on really hard for that. They push me like when I'm don't want to be pushed. So like, I know one of them in particular that I want to talk to about that idea, because I know she's driven to do something and to drive change, and you know what I mean? Like, she pushes me to get in touch with that part of me.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't want to let stuff like that sit either. I agree with you. Like, I don't know, do you get any, like, do you have any thoughts or perspective on that job that I'm waiting to hear about?
On the job, tell me about it.
So I met this guy about 3 years ago, and like I said, a lot of people have been calling me lately, right? Can you talk to us about this role? We're interested in you. Like, I haven't been applying for jobs. All these interviews come to me from people I know or whatever. And he called me about an idea probably 4 months ago. It got quiet, which it does on these startups. And then he came back to me a week and a half ago, and I had just had an interview, and I had another interview that day. And he was like, the plan is moving forward. I want to talk to you about this opportunity. It's pretty big. They want to bring me over as the chief operating officer and start this company that their intention is to sell it in 3 years for like $30 million. And they basically want me to like put together all the pieces and create it.
Wow. So you're waiting to hear back on if they
like, I'm struggling to get excited because, well, they already, like, there is no one else. There's no competition. They're like, we want you. You're part of our strategy. They told me they want me at their board meeting, but then I got nervous because they moved their board meeting from February to March, but he said that was because they hired someone. I feel like I'm getting nervous because the other things haven't worked out, and this is exactly what I wanted. Like, this is what I was manifesting. This is what I've been saying I want to do. And it like came to me, and now I'm like, should I not get excited? Because even though they told me, you're the person, here's what we would pay you, here's what you're going to get, like, I'm still not excited about it, and that makes me nervous.
Why are you not excited? This is like your dream
Because I'm
job?
nervous that it won't go through. Like, these other jobs have not gone through.
Okay.
Although I feel like they haven't gone through because they're not big enough for me.
Yeah. Okay. So I think you kind of answered it yourself. I think it's just, yeah, like maybe it's the Virgo perfectionism that comes through, like that voice of, yeah, like you're not good enough, you don't know enough, it's not quite right, something's off, or yeah, just noticing like when that comes through and being able to flip that script like you have, like, I'm good enough, I know my worth, I know how much I should be paid, this is what I've been wanting, like I have trust and faith that'll come. Okay. And I think with your Chiron and Taurus, let's talk about that, because I think that could be associated with this energy. So with Chiron is a primal wound that we have, and it's in the house of like your visions, your dreams, your hopes for the future. And so Chiron, yeah, it's a primal wound that we all have somewhere in our charts, and it is generational. So people born around that time have Chiron and Taurus. But again, for you, it's in your 11th house, which rules, your dreams, your visions, your plans for the future. And so the wound with Chiron and Taurus, it could show up like a wound to your sense of self-worth, into your body, which could show up in a few different ways. It could show up like feeling just an insecurity rooted in the body, fear of loss of safety, insecurity, because Taurus rules our possessions and our ability to make money and to provide for ourselves. So you could find it hard to trust in the abundance of life, or maybe like holding on and clinging to people or to possessions to give you a sense of safety. Maybe a tendency to devalue yourself and life in general. Avoiding risk.
All of those things.
Okay.
All of those.
The avoiding risk, and then maybe cautious.
That's definitely generational. Like my parents, everything is a pessimistic perspective. Like, don't do this if it's not going to be better than what you have, and like, why would you change that if this or that? Like, why don't I understand why you're doing that? Like, everything is, it's totally pessimistic. It's totally like the anxiety that runs through every decision that has to be made is probably why I've stayed in relationships too long. Why, why I've stayed in jobs too long, and why I think at the end of the day, nothing's good enough.
Yeah, totally.
So that's been something that's been so heavy. Like, I focus on that so much because I'm not alone in that. Like, all my friends are going through that, where they're never satisfied. But mine is at a different level because I've achieved so much more than my relatives that came here. But at the same time, I put more pressure on myself every day because you're not supposed to just stop. Like, I look at my nieces and nephews, and I'm like so proud of them. I'm like, go, like, get a job that's your dream. Like, go. I tell them all, I'm like, go join a club. Go find what you like to do, because I'm 40 years old and I'm not really sure what I like to do. I don't play music. I don't have a hobby. I just work.
Yeah. And I think that the bottom of your chart, like the root, the foundation, coming, having it be Virgo and Saturn there, like that strong feeling of just needing things to be perfect, or to look a certain way, or to be good enough, to make sure you're doing enough and you're making enough. And so that's like, a lot of reprogramming, like rewriting the story that you're clearing out, not only for your family, but the generations of like, and probably you just like coming to America and like doing the American dream of like making money and all that. It's like, it's wrapped up in it, but there's so much more, as than just making money. Like, sure, we can, and that's amazing to be able to be self-sufficient and making money and having a job that, you can, support yourself and your family with. But really feeling fulfilled, and like you're doing the work that you came here to do, like you said, filling up
like,
your cup in other ways.
Yeah, and I think part of that for me is that I think I got like pieces of what they all came here with, like that heart, that drive, that inspiration, like, and I think that's why I'm drawn to doing something else with putting those pieces together, not just work. But I feel like I also have that pressure to kill it as like the American, you know what I mean? So I'm like, all right, well, if I kick ass for like another 5 years and like really push myself, I can live a really nice life, and I can live my dream, and I can like help people, and I can still live the life that I want to live.
Yeah.
Because I like nice things, and I'm not that's not gonna go away. I'm not gonna pretend I don't.
Totally. Yeah. Why not? There's nothing wrong with, enjoying that or having nice things. I think it's just, slowing down. long enough. And there's a lot of things in your chart pointing at like just, again, the mental stimulation, like lots of intuitive hits, messages coming through, and then just the feeling of like that you always need to be doing something or like providing a service or accomplishing something. So just really taking the time to slow down into, I think meditating is amazing, breath work, yoga, or just taking the time to slow down and to celebrate like how far you have come and what you have done, especially since that wasn't something that was like reinforced when you were a child, of like celebrating what you've done and really taking that time to just slow down and soak it all in before it's just like on to the next thing. Because you do have, you've got your North Node and Mars conjunct, which is like natural strength and stamina and just being really ambitious and like physical strength, mental strength, but you can, push it too far to the point of like exhaustion or just seeing how far your physical body can handle. So making sure that you, do those things where you can slow down and you can take care of yourself, which sounds like what is going on this weekend, which is awesome. But to come back to,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Okay, so to finish the Chiron in Taurus part, so I shared some of the things, like the ways that it could show up, but I want to share the healing journey for that placement. And this could show up like, okay, so it was the insecurity rooted in the body, fear of loss of security and safety. And that could show up when you're like, thinking about the future, your future, like dreams, plans, visions, because that's the house that it's in. So the healing journey for this placement involves finding your inner security, and your gift is to really feel unshakable, like inner strength and inner self-worth. And the security and love that you need will be found by adopting your spiritual path and really like befriending your instincts, listening to your body. So learning that you can see the connection between the material and the spiritual world. Again, I think that is, really your gift, being so connected and intuitive, connected to the other realms, but having such strong earth energy to like ground that information and do something with it here on this material realm. So it's like, getting the downloads, the flashes of information in regards to what you want to do with your work, and then actually having the follow through to do it, to stick with it, and to see it all the way through. So with this placement as well, you could be a really good manager of other people's money and resources, which it seems like that's kind of what you do. It's just getting yourself out of the way and allowing your creativity to kind of to flow through and to trust your ideas and your visions by, I think having those daily routines, those practices that you can do where you're just really focusing on that inner stability and that inner security, so that despite what's going on externally, it's not impacting your self-worth.
I took a break on like the physical exercise, and I focused totally on mental health for a little while. Now I'm trying to combine the two because I'm feeling like a little sluggish because haven't been working out, and that really, I need that to clear my head. Like I need both of them, so I need to figure out how to keep time for both. Because I want to commit to both. I don't want to lose one because I have the other. So I'm trying to process like how I can commit to that to make it work, because I have to commit in a way that I have a certain way that like if I go into it saying this is what it's going to be, I'll do it. So I'm trying to figure out how best to do that right now, because I need the physical exercise again, because my body is saying like that's enough.
And do you do yoga?
I've cleared everything out. No, I've never done yoga. Well, like I went once or twice.
Okay. Awesome. I think that would be amazing for you. I think a lot of people with, the strong Virgo energy, because there is so much mental stimulation, that is a really good thing because it is a physical workout and it's a mental workout for sure. Like just connecting to your body and really being conscious of your breath. Like, I think it's so powerful. Maybe trying different studios that are around you. There's so many different styles of yoga, but yeah, I think playing around with that and being able to get the physical, to combine the physical with the spiritual. So physically, yeah, getting that workout, but really being mindful of your breath, like you're connecting with your body, you're coming back into your body and yeah, connecting the movements to the breath, I think is super powerful. So that might be something to look into. That would be a good balance of both.
I'm going to add that now and start. So I said I was Sunday. I actually told my therapist that as well, so I held myself accountable with that. Getting back into it on a regular basis. So I think what I'm going to do is plan to have like my first like 15, 20 minutes of yoga, so I can have the mental health piece of it and the physical part of it.
Totally.
To get me like inspired back into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a really good suggestion.
Yeah.
I always forget about it. And it might help my son too, because I've been trying to get him to be a little bit more physical lately.
Uh-huh. I think it would be really
and he's
great.
Interested in like, we both got boxing gloves. Like I have a boxing.
Yeah.
What are those called? I forget what they're called. Like the bags, the boxing
yeah.
bags. I have one in our house.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I have gloves and he has it. So
that's awesome.
I'd like us to have that piece too, because we're both we can be pretty high energy, screaming and like in your face. So it helps us to punch stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's awesome. That's great for everyone to do. And I think that is really important, like to learn how to move through the whole range of emotions, to feel anger and rage and happiness and all of them, and to have ways to release them. Yeah. In our physical body. So punching things, shaking your body out, dancing, like ecstatic dance, just moving in whatever way feels good. I think the yoga would be amazing for both of you guys to, you could do it on your own. You could do it together. There's, obviously tons of videos that you could watch if you wanted to do it at home. But I think doing it, like at some point doing it in a studio is really, I feel is really helpful, to just be in like that community with people and like moving and breathing together. Just kind of changes it a little bit. But I think that would be really,
I think committing to something that involves other people might be good for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I have a tendency to not commit to something I have to do weekly because I want freedom to do whatever I want. But I think that having a commitment to myself every single week
mm-hmm.
is just going to do me a favor.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Yeah. And you could allow yourself, I don't know if you need like freedom within that commitment, like making committed to doing a few classes a week or different types of yoga classes, or just getting to the studio or doing it for, a certain amount of time. But I think that is like, that's really a life-changing practice, especially.
I think that's what I'm hoping that job is going to bring me, like flexibility to do and like more commit to things at home. Like I travel so much now, I don't commit to anything at home with my friends. Like I would love to go to spin to learn. I've never been to a spinning class. My friend goes to a hip hop one. I would love to go, but I'm afraid to commit because I travel so often. I'm never here during the week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I've started to try to make home more appealing to me, like when I am there, instead of leaving every weekend because I don't feel like being there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So you could do classes and stuff online. At home, you could set up a little space within your home where you both, you and your son both go to like get into that like mode to do yoga or to do hit the punching bag, or like time for creative expression. Because you said you didn't do any like you didn't play any instruments, or you're talking about stuff like that. So maybe even allowing yourself that time with him to like create in whatever way feels good, like whether you're drawing or doing something with art. There's so many different ways to work with it, where it doesn't just have to look like like pen to paper kind of thing. All right, what do you think? What else? I'll probably do a little wrap up of what we went over, but do you have any questions at all right now, or how are you feeling?
No, I'm feeling good. That was super powerful for me.
Yay. I'm glad. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
me too.
think, yeah, does it not, no questions? You're good with everything we went over?
Yeah, no, I'm good. It all definitely resonates for me.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the chapter, the phase that you're in, like we've got Saturn and Pluto there going through your seventh house. So as you know, like relationships are changing. Everything that needed to be brought up to the surface, I think, has been, yeah, brought up to the surface and exposed for, yeah, for us to, for everybody to work through um and to evolve through. So the relationship area of your life is shifting, building new boundaries, a new foundation for how you want to show up and connect with other people. I want to see if there's any other like huge transits that are happening for you right now. I think that is the main one. Um, yeah, Uranus moves very slowly, so that's going to take some time. Where is it right now? Okay. Yeah. So I think what is the main thing that's coming up for you right now in regards to the changing of relationships. I think you're like in alignment with what your life lesson is, the work that you came here to do, that Virgo energy of having structure and being really good at, yeah, having the plan and organizing things and like having all these different pieces to the puzzle, bringing it together, like different people, bringing them all together to create this like cohesive whole. I do think that, yeah, you have like the revolutionary invention, like new inventions, that type of energy where you can kind of see into the future and understand what it is we need to do in this current time and space to revolutionize these systems that we have. So I think now as you like move into this next chapter of your life, like trusting your intuition, tapping into that, into your spiritual gifts more. And I think that will help just continue to build the inner stability, the inner security, to feel unshakable despite what's going on externally. That's that Taurian energy. It rules your spiritual gifts. It rules your self-confidence, your worth, just your ability to provide for your own basic needs. And so I think having those routines that you really ground into, like incorporating the yoga, the breath work, just continuing with your meditation and all of the self-help tools that you're already doing. Yeah, so that you can build something different that is, yeah, whether you continue with the work that you have, but also then like have more time for these other things that really fill up your cup and where you can feel like you're being of service in a different way to people.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I think that is exactly how I see it.
Yay. Awesome. Well, I'm really glad, yeah, that we went through your whole chart and got to see,
Me too.
yeah, like
I definitely want to do the past life regression now because I feel like now that you, like, I don't know if you feel like that, but like now that you kind of know, like, all of the background, I think like it would be a really big experience for me.
Totally. Yeah, I wanted to kind of go through this first, just for both of us to get a better understanding like of that past life energy that you come from, with it there being in Pisces, and what you're here to step into in this lifetime. So definitely, I think setting up the regression, if you wanted to do the single regression, or if you wanted to do the list of 25 questions that you ask your higher self, we could do either one, but yeah, we can set that up whenever. If you know your schedule, we can set it up now, whatever you think.
I want to do the 25 questions. So I want to, like you and I talked about what some of those questions can be. So I want to take time and like think about them.
Okay.
So I don't want to rush it. So
okay.
I want to, luckily I think I'm home for like the next 2 weeks.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I'm not traveling. But I would actually love to do it before the 24th. Let me look at my calendar. I'll look at that after because for some reason I don't have a really good connection here on my other phone. But yeah, like, I think that that will be really powerful for me, and I'd like to do that. If I can't do it before then, maybe I do it before the timing for when I'm supposed to get that new job.
Okay.
I think that might help me kind of like leap into it well. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I'd like to make sure that like I connect with that before I start somewhere new where I'm supposed to be empowered and supposed to be the one in control. Like I want to make sure I walk in there with that energy.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you can ask some of the questions around that job or around like how to best step into that role, or if there's anything you need to do to prepare for it, or yeah, you can ask your 25 questions about anything. They can all be unrelated. I can send you some more samples too if that would be helpful.
Yeah, that would be perfect.
Okay. Okay, well, I'll send you this chart. I'll send you your recording from today, and then I can send you some sample questions or like examples. And then, yeah, just let me know whatever day you're thinking, and I'll just block off the whole day for us to do that because, yeah, it is a few hours. And again, like we will go through the whole story of your life. So you'll go back to your earliest childhood memory. We'll go through everything, and then we will go into a past life. So you could have some intention for a past life that you want to explore. And then when you're still in that space, like you're in the state of hypnosis, in that trance state, I will then, ask the 25 questions and we'll go through that list. So yeah, just let me know
Awesome.
what day works for you.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah. Right on. Me too. I'm excited to do that with you, and I'm glad that we did this first. And
Me too.
I have a good understanding of your chart now. And let me know if you have any questions or want any clarification when you listen to this recording. And that is all. You have a good weekend over there. Enjoy your hot tub bath experience.
Thank you. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for today. This was awesome.
Totally. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for trusting me to go through all this with you. And I'm excited to do the quantum healing hypnosis technique with you whenever you are ready.
Awesome.
Cool.
I will be in touch for sure.
Right on. All right. I'll talk to you soon. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Thanks.
Bye.